What's up, guys? Welcome to this edition of a Funko Podcast. I am DK Wrestler.
And I'm MD Shady.
And today we have a huge jam-packed podcast, which I almost thought for some reason that this was actually the first podcast we were actually recording in 2023. And then I forgot that last week's Breaking Bad pod was actually recorded at the beginning of January. But nonetheless, I should say thank you to everyone who had tuned into that podcast from last week, which today's podcast, we are talking about pretty much the entire month of January 2023 as terms to Funko Pop announcements, including both day 1 and day 2, which this is when we're recording it, is right after day 2 reveals of Funko Fair 2023. And then after that, we will be doing the top 10 Funko Pops list for the entire month of January. But without further ado, let's talk about the first set of Funko Pops for January, which range from January 4th all the way until I believe it's January 17th, right before day 1 of Funko Fair. So kicking off on January 4th, we have a set of Disney 100th anniversary pops, which we got ourselves an Oswald the Lucky Rabbit pop art covers, a Walt Disney with drawing, an Oswald the Lucky Rabbit with a 1-in-6 chase, and then we have exclusive pops of a black and white Goofy going to Target, and then kind of a half and half Mickey Mouse that will be exclusive to Hot Topic, along with the Hakuna Matata pop moments that will be exclusive to Walmart, yet it does not say that on the Glam Shop, but it is exclusive to Walmart. Then on January 5th, Funko had announced a set of pops for the upcoming DC Extended Universe movie of Shazam! Fury of the Gods, which this set has a Shazam with a glow-in-the-dark chase, Freddy, Darla, Mary, Eugene, Pedro, Calypso, Hesperia, Athena, and Unicorn. Then on January 9th, Funko had announced a pop of Batman to celebrate Funko's 25th anniversary, which will be a Funko Shop exclusive. And then Funko confirmed on Funko.com of a Diamond Collection Elsa from Frozen that was originally a Pop in a Box exclusive, but I'll get into a little bit of detail of that when talking about this pop. Then on January 10th, Funko had announced pops of Dolly Parton for the Pop Rocks lineup, which we have a common version of her with a banjo, and then a Funko Shop exclusive of her with a guitar. And on that same day, Drop had confirmed the physical redeemable pops for the Sid and Marty Krofft Funko NFTs, which we have ourselves Horatio J. Hoodoo being the Grail limited to 999 pieces, then the legendaries being Seymour Spider, Sleestack, and Jimmy being limited to 1,400 pieces, and then the royalty being Freddy Funko a Sleestack limited to 2,700 pieces. Then on January 11th, Loungefly had announced their own exclusive pop of a Diamond Collection Buzz Lightyear that's a part of a pop and bag bundle limited to 3,000 pieces. Then on January 12th, Entertainment Earth had announced their own exclusive pop of Matt Murdock from Spider-Man No Way Home. On January 13th, Box Lunch had announced their own exclusive pop of a glow-in-the-dark SSGSS Goku Kaioken x20. Then on January 16th, Funko had confirmed the pop movie posters of Dorothy and Toto from The Wizard of Oz, which is a Diamond Collection pop. And then last but not least for this section of pops, I guess I'm going to call it crystallized Minnie Mouse for the Disney lineup, which will be a Funko Shop exclusive. So I guess kicking off with the first set of Disney 100th anniversary pops, and this was a pretty decent way to kick off 2023 reveals. I think all the pops are pretty decent, especially even that half and half Mickey. I think that's pretty cool, but especially what I guess steals the show as terms of this set is that Hakuna Matata pop moments. I've went on record on like not exactly being the biggest fan of Lion King, but I can appreciate how awesome this Funko Pop Moments is, especially because I thought for some reason this was already made. So it's crazy that it took them this long to make a pop of this exact moment of Lion King. Then we got pops for Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and I think this is a pretty decent set. I think this is so much better than the pops we had gotten for the original Shazam movie because all of them are actually in different poses this time. Unlike the original ones where I believe it was the exact same pose, it's just the different colors of their attires. And I really do enjoy that Shazam chase. I think that's awesome. Now we got ourselves the Batman for the 25th anniversary of Funko. And I kind of like this idea where you have this base And then you're celebrating 25 years of Funko. Batman's perfect because Funko has made probably more Batmans than any other character in pop form. And then it comes in this case where it has a card, a token, and then a pin. My only gripe is, though, they should have done this with a certain set of pops. And if you guys are wondering what I'm talking about, they should have done this with the NFT redeemable pops. I think it definitely would have made sense for them to be packed in this tin case so that you're not worrying about the cardboard sorters. And it also comes with a card, so they could have made a card of the actual legendary or grail card that pop was a part of. The coin could have been the series coin involved with that set, and then a pin with a popified version of whatever pop it would be. So I wish they would have done those with the NFTs before doing it with this, but maybe in the future we could see that with the NFT lineup. I certainly would love to see that. Then we got the Diamond Collection Elsa, which was originally a Pop in a Box exclusive, but as I guess kind of unannounced, but people have already know that Pop in a Box is officially out of the game of selling Funko Pops. They have taken everything out of their website. And then this was on the Funko Shop website with the sticker, probably because it was originally supposed to be Pop in a Box exclusive, and they still had them already made with the sticker. So instead of taking them off the website, trying to make a new sticker, they're just selling it with the sticker, which I mean, I don't really care too much about it because it's a Diamond Collection pop of a pop that we've already had before. But speaking of pops that we haven't had before, Dolly Parton, really awesome to finally have a pop of her. I think they did an excellent job. You have two different poses and it's two different color attires, which I do enjoy, especially with both of them having different instruments, making people probably want to get both of them, especially when the Funko Shop exclusive one, which in my opinion is the one I like better. And then the physical NFT pops for the Sid and Marty Krofft Series 1 set. These are pretty decent. I mean, I don't really know anything at all with, the Sid and Marty Krofft pictures and Land of the Lost and stuff like that, but there's a lot of detail between all these pops, especially the Seymour Spider. And if you guys haven't yet, we did do a card opening of the NFT packs here, myself and MD. And let's just say we did pretty crazy for the packs that we have opened if you have not seen that yet. But overall, these are still pretty decent pops. Then we got the Diamond Collection Buzz Lightyear, 3,000 pieces, and it comes with the crossbody bag, I guess it's called. And funny little story I'll mention about this is that the same day that this was announced was the same day we did our pop hunt with Top Pops. And it was crazy because we were in the one card store, the sports store, and he was asking me about my Toy Story collection, how yeah, you have pretty much the whole set, right? I'm like, yeah, I pretty much have everything besides the mysterious Pop and Tea bundle with the metallic Woody. Later on that night, Loungefly announces this, now making me pretty much 2 pops behind on my near complete set of Toy Story pops. And I haven't kind of bitten the bullet yet on wanting to pay the secondary market price for this yet. I know of a website that has a couple on pre-order still left, but I know eventually I will get this pop. Just don't know when it's going to be. If you do see a video eventually on the channel saying this is my most expensive pop yet or something along the lines of that, and you've listened to this podcast, you probably know that it's going to end up being this pop. Overall, it's all right. I wish they would have done glow in the dark. I think that would have made more sense because we've seen Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story 2 have glow in the dark feature on the action figure there. Then we have Matt Murdock from Spider-Man No Way Home. And I mean, this is really cool because we haven't had Matt Murdock since I believe the Daredevil set, which that pop has risen up in price so much. But there is a huge gripe with this pop, and that is the scene that's involved with this pop where he should be sitting on a chair because I guess I will say a protester throws a brick through Peter Parker's window and Matt Murdock catches it. And that's exactly what they're doing here, but they should have done it more of a deluxe form where Matt Murdock is actually sitting on the chair instead of him standing up, when clearly he was not standing up during the scene. He was sitting on a chair. But overall, it's cool to see more pops for No Way Home. I don't see this being the end of No Way Home pops. We'll probably see them throughout the rest of 2023. Then we got ourselves the glow-in-the-dark Goku, and I mean, another Goku, really, but the glow-in-the-dark aspect of what we're looking at through the photos looks pretty decent, and I kind of want to see this in person to actually see how the glow turns out, especially with the colors like red and then blue we've mentioned about not being the greatest, but we'll have to see in person. Then we have a movie posters for Wizard of Oz, which is really cool that we're finally seeing new Wizard of Oz pops again, because we have not seen any since that like initial wave back in, I want to say like 2012. It's been that long, over a decade since we have seen Wizard of Oz pops. The idea here is pretty decent. We have Dorothy and Toto. I'm assuming the glitter or diamond collection aspect is probably something to do with probably the shoes that she is wearing, and then maybe like part of her outfit. But nonetheless, I think this is pretty decent, and I can't wait to see more Wizard of Oz pops be made, because I feel like this can't be the only thing being made, especially for Warner Brothers' 100th anniversary. And then last but not least for this section of pops is the, I guess I'm going to call it crystallized Minnie Mouse. This is not too bad. I mean, I don't know how much they're going to do with this set, like whether they're going to do a whole lineup of this, or it's just going to be maybe this one or a couple of more, but this isn't too bad so far.
All right, starting out January with Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. This is pretty cool. It's cool to see this being made into a pop, and I think that this cover looks pretty awesome. And then you have the rest of the wave, I guess, that we're seeing here with the Oswald with the chase version, which I think that's a pretty decent chase. I mean, you get some added features as well as a change in the pose. Then you have the Goofy and the Mickey. Those are pretty cool as well, but I don't know, not anything too crazy for Disney 100, but they're not bad pops by any means. And then, yeah, the Show Stealer with the Hakuna Matata moments. This is awesome. A perfect timing for this, because this is right when Funko can do this and it look awesome. If they would have done this, let's say 5 years ago, it wouldn't have been nearly as good as what we're seeing here. Then we have the pops for Shazam, and yeah, these aren't great. I mean, with the last wave of Shazam pops, I definitely seen a lot of them sitting around, so I don't know how great these are going to sell. And then we have that pretty cool Batman that comes with the tin and all that stuff. And I gotta agree with DK on this one. I mean, this makes so much sense for the NFTs to be done this way. It makes it more of a premium product, and I think it would really draw people in to actually wanting to spend money on these NFT packs, because I know a lot of the Funko community definitely does hate the idea of the NFT pops, but when you get it in this packaging and it comes with extra stuff like this, it just makes so much sense to do it this way. Hopefully Funko will going forward. Then we have the Diamond Collection Elsa, the potentially last pop in a box pop, which is funny. Yeah, this is okay. This makes sense to be Diamond Collection with the glitter, so I give it a pass, but I don't know, it's not the best. And then we have the two pops for Dolly Parton. And yeah, I feel like it's been a while that people have wanted Dolly Parton pops, and we finally have them here, and they both look great. I do think that the Funko Shop one is a little bit better. I like the pose a little bit more, and there's something about that hairstyle too, where it makes it look more of like the hairstyle she has now rather than the other pop, the orange attire, looking more of like an older Dolly Parton pop. And then we have the NFT pops for Sid and Marty Krofft. And yes, we did open packs, and yeah, we did pretty good on those packs. So definitely check out that video. These are pretty cool. I would have liked to see maybe more with HR Puffin stuff in this set. I mean, we really don't see much. You don't even see HR Puffin stuff himself at all with these pops. But overall, there is a good mix of pops, and it's not a bad NFT drop. And then there's the pop and bag bundle with the Diamond Collection Buzz, as well as that bag that looks awesome. Of course, it is the claw machine with the aliens inside of it. That's really cool. I like the design of the bag, but the pop itself, yeah, I mean, Diamond Collection, there's not too many Toy Story Diamond Collection pops to begin with, so I guess it's okay, but it would have made more sense, like DK said, had it been glow in the dark. Next up, we have the Entertainment Earth exclusive Matt Murdock, and this is pretty awesome. I do own the OG Matt Murdock, so it is cool to see another one. But I do think, yeah, it could have been done better if he was on a chair, making it more of that deluxe pop, but still keeping it simplistic enough so that it can be sold as just your normal 4-inch figure. But yeah, this looks pretty cool, and I'm glad that it is a version of Matt Murdock for No Way Home, because I do think that he played a big part in that movie in somewhat. Yeah, the glow in the dark's cool on this, but it's nothing that really gets me excited. And like I've said before, I'm thinking about selling my Dragon Ball Z Funko Pop collection, because I just don't really care for collecting them too much anymore. And what I'm actually thinking of doing is just selling it all at once and using that money to maybe go and buy a grail for another collection that I do. So maybe we will do a video like that in the future if that is what I decide to do. But yeah, this Goku's pretty sweet, I guess, but I don't know. I'm just not interested anymore in seeing more versions of Goku that are so similar to the last one that we seen and the last one we seen before that. Then we have the Wizard of Oz cover with Dorothy and Toto. This is Wicked. I like this. Diamond Collection, I'm assuming that the only thing that will be glittered is the shoes, because that is the only thing that's glitter in that whole movie. So I really hope that that's all that they do. They don't do the dress. And it would have been really cool if the Toto would have been flocked as well, so you could get Diamond Collection and flocked on a cover. I think that that would be kind of groundbreaking for the movie posters. So yeah, this is really cool. I definitely do plan on getting this. And then we have, lastly, as we'll call it, the crystallized mini. And in my opinion, this is what Diamond Collection should be. I mean, this looks like a diamond, so why wouldn't this be diamond? And then you just call what we have now as Diamond Collection glitter pops or something else, find a different name for it. But this is a pretty cool pop. I like this, and I don't know if this is the way it's going to be, but I would really like to see this as a translucent pop, so that it really does give you that effect of being crystallized or like a diamond, like I said. So yeah, I enjoy this pop.
All right, so going to January 18th, which was day one of Funko Fair 2023, in which the first set of pops here, I'm going to warn you guys, I'm going to butcher a lot of these names. It is the set of Demon Slayer pops, which we got ourselves Renoku, Mitsuri Kenroji, Tenjiro with Noodles, Kanao Suzuri, Ryu, Tegaya Yubiashi, which will be a GameStop and Crunchyroll shared exclusive. Final Selection Guides 2-pack, which is going to be glow in the dark and exclusive to Amazon. A metallic Nezuko, which was already pre-announced and is a Toy Stop Collectibles exclusive. Tenjuro Hamato, that will be a AAA anime exclusive. Then we got a glow in the dark Kanao Suzuri, which will be a Barnes & Noble exclusive. A glow in the dark Renoku, which will be a Walmart exclusive. And then a brand new Nezuko in basket, which will be a Hot Topic exclusive. Then we got a set of Five Nights at Freddy's pops, which we got ourselves Balloon Freddy, Circus Freddy, Bonnie, Circus Foxy, and Balloon Foxy. We got pop art covers from Brandalize, which we got ourselves Flying Balloon Girl and then Tagging Robot. Then we got ourselves the, I believe it's third out of 12 pops for the upcoming Captain America Civil War set, which is of Black Panther, and this will be an Amazon exclusive. We got a wave of pops for the upcoming MCU movie Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which we have common pops of Star-Lord, Groot, Rocket Raccoon, Nebula, Kraglin, Mantis, Adam Warlock, Drax, and Cosmos, with exclusive pops of a new version of Mantis going to Target, another version of Rocket Raccoon going to be a box lunch exclusive, a flocked Cosmo, which will be a Hot Topic exclusive, and a 10-inch Groot, which will be a Target exclusive. Then we got a pop albums for Sir Mix-a-Lot's Mac Daddy. Continuing on with the Rocks lineup, we have two versions of DMX, one being a common and the other being a Funko Shop exclusive. We got a Shazam pop comic covers for the Justice League of America. Then we got a set of pops for the TV series Gilligan's Island, which we got ourselves Jonas the Skipper Grumby, Gilligan, Lovey, Thurston Howell III, Roy the Professor Hinckley, Ginger Grant, and then we got Mary Ann Summers. Then we got ourselves a Pop Deluxe Moments for Harry Potter, which is of Hagrid's Hut featuring Ron, Harry, Hagrid, and Hermione. And last but not least, for day one of Funko Fair 2023, we got ourselves a set of pops for the upcoming Dungeons & Dragons movie, which we got ourselves common pops of Edgin, Holga, Simon, Dorkick, Zenk, and Forge, with an exclusive 10-inch pop going to Walmart of Thember Chod. I'm not going to go into as much detail as I would in our other video, so I'm going to go and mention some things that I didn't get to mention before, but I will mention that Demon Slayer wave is awesome. The pop albums of Sir Mix-a-Lot, I want to update on that, because what I was trying to say in that video was the fact that I don't like how they pulled off the pop itself, considering that it's supposed to be leaning up against a car, but it almost looks like it's not leaning up against anything. So I wish if they would have added some sort of base where he's leaning up against a car, or just done some sort of regular old Sir Mix-a-Lot that doesn't really match the cover, because it just looks awkward the way it is. The Gilligan's Islands pops are pretty sweet also, considering that I know a lot of people have been wanting Gilligan's Island pops for so long, but now that there's Warner Brothers 100th anniversary going on, it can now happen, so that's pretty sweet. And then the Dungeons & Dragons pops, the human characters are a little bit meh, but that 10-inch monster looks pretty sweet.
So starting off with the first announcement of new Demon Slayer pops, these look ridiculous. I mean, these look awesome. I'm not saying ridiculous in a bad way. These are really cool. And recently, I feel like Funko has been killing it with the Demon Slayer pops. And honestly, I feel like I have more enjoyment in seeing some of these announcements over other IPs like Dragon Ball Z or even My Hero Academia, which are two shows that I have watched most of at least, and I haven't seen Demon Slayer. So that really does go to show how great a lot of these Demon Slayer pops have been recently, and Funko definitely did not tone it down with Funko Fair. And then we have the Five Nights at Freddy's pops. And when I saw this, I didn't know what it was at first before looking at the actual logo. Obviously, it must be one of the newer games or something, but these look pretty dang sweet. I really enjoy how these look. And I feel like these are probably going to sell pretty well because I know that a lot of people do collect the Five Nights at Freddy's pops. And then we have the two art pops, and these are pretty decent. I actually like this idea, and I want to see where Funko's going to go with this going forward because I think that this is an awesome idea for a new line of pops. And then we have the third of the 12 pops for the Civil War, where they piece together, and we have Black Panther, and this is okay. I would like to see exactly what this is going to look like at the end before I really voice my opinion on these, because so far from what we've been seeing, they do look pretty basic pop-wise at least. And then we have the Guardians of the Galaxy pops, and this is a decent set. I mean, there's some cool pops in here, but one thing that I definitely want to mention is some of the comments that I was reading on this post about the Rocket Raccoons and how looks like maybe he was getting into some stuff that he probably shouldn't have been getting into because, yeah, he looks kind of weird in these pops, I'm not going to lie. So I thought that that was funny. Then we have the Sir Mix-a-Lot cover, and this is pretty sweet. I like Sir Mix-a-Lot. I think that this is cool. I do agree that there should have been like a bumper or something added just to make it look exactly like the cover, because that's what I like when you see these posters and the album covers as well as like the Marvel covers or the DC covers. I want it to look like what you're seeing, or else it's just a pop with some stuff in the background essentially. And then we have the two pops of DMX. These are pretty sweet. I mean, rest in peace. Yeah, these are cool. I think that these are going to sell very, very well, especially that Funko Shop exclusive, because I kind of like that one better. Then we have the Shazam cover, and this is okay. This is kind of that instance where I think that the pop should look like the cover, and it kind of does, but at the same time, I kind of feel like it doesn't really look like that because he's not even facing forward in the cover itself. So I don't know. I'm impartial to this one. And then we have the pops for Gilligan's Island, and this is an awesome set. I mean, yeah, like DK said, people have been wanting Gilligan's Island's pops for so long. I can't even remember when the first time it was that I saw someone comment saying that they wanted to see Gilligan's Island pop, and now we have them, and they all look pretty great. Then we have the Harry Potter deluxe set, and this is pretty cool. I do want to see more of these deluxe type sets for the moments, but this one I think is kind of mid. I mean, they're kind of just doing nothing, where with the Home Alone one, I'll put as an example, that one had like a lot of action going on with it. So I feel like that one was definitely a lot better than this, but I don't think it's the worst. I do think it will probably sell pretty well. And then we have the pops for Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, the human ones are okay. They're not crazy, but I do feel like people are going to buy the different like class or character that they like the most. And then of course the Walmart exclusive with that dragon type creature is pretty awesome looking.
All right, so now we're going to move on to the next section of pops, which is right in between day 1 and day 2 of Funko Fair, which range from January 19th to January 24th. So kicking off on January 19th, Emerald City Comic Con had announced their own exclusive pop of a Blacklight Crusader-ette, which will be limited to 3,000 pieces. Then on January 20th, Entertainment Earth had announced their own exclusive pop of a Venom Carnage Miles Morales. January 24th, Funko had announced a couple of pops for the Pops with Purpose lineup, which will be Funko Shop's exclusives, one being Venus Williams for the tennis lineup, and then Eazy-E for the Rocks lineup. And then on that same day, Gabriel Iglesias had announced his own exclusive pop of a Jack in the Box Fluffy, which actually did release today as we are recording this podcast on his website. And I would assume, obviously, it probably had sold out. Lastly, on this day, Drop had confirmed the redeemable pops for the upcoming Teen Titans Go Series 1 Funko NFT drop, which we got ourselves legendary pops of Aqualad, Bumblebee, Red Robin, and Slade, which are all limited to 1,800 pieces. The Grail being Titan Robot, limited to 999 pieces. And then the Freddy Funko as Beast Boy, which will be limited to 2,700 pieces. So I guess kicking off with the Crusaderette pop, this isn't too bad, and I do like the idea that this will be a limited piece pop because, of course, we have seen a lot of people as of late kind of getting sick of the whole black light specification. Funko definitely has overdone it, I will admit, but I don't exactly hate it as much as I see with like metallic finishes or even diamond collection finishes that we've been seeing. So I would rather see black light, but yeah, it's time to kind of slow down. But this is a great way to do that, where because a lot of people don't want to see another blacklight pop or want to buy one, then the certain amount of people that actually want to buy a blacklight pop can do so with being a limited run here. And especially with Crusaderette, which, I mean, if you're a huge fan of the convention of Emerald City Comic Con, this is a cool pop to add to your collection. And I do like the colorways that you see it without shining a black light, but I kind of want to see what it looks like when you actually shine the black light on it. And then we have ourselves what's being called the Venom Carnage Miles Morales. I do see the reason that it is because you do see black and you do see red. So I feel if it is actually Venom Carnage and not like a Venomized Miles Morales, then I think I will have to get it for the sake of my like Carnage collection. But I'm not in so much of a hurry, especially because I know our boys over at K-Dog and Fish with their partnership with Entertainment Earth will end up getting this at some point. So I'll wait until they get it. And then we got the Pops with Purpose Pops. And I'm kind of curious to know what Funko's reasoning is behind using Venus Williams and Eazy-E for this like program of pops. I don't exactly know the backgrounds. Maybe they've done some sort of like charity stuff and that's why they're being put into here. But these are some like weird choices, but I'm not complaining about these. Like we don't get enough tennis pops. I mean, not a lot of people watch tennis, but you don't see a lot of tennis pops. And then I think Eazy-E has only had one pop before this one. I could be wrong. I don't exactly remember. But it's cool to see new pops of both of these individuals, though. I'll give them that. And then we got the Jack in the Box Fluffy, which is pretty interesting to see, considering that also today, as we were recording this, they kind of re-announced this in a way for Funko Fair Day 2, but Fluffy announced it the day before on his social media platforms. And this is okay. I mean, I wish we would see different comedians than Fluffy. I would rather see the third Jeff Dunham pop before this being now, I think, the 9th or 10th Fluffy pop. And I'm actually really curious to hear MD mention whether he will get this or not, because technically it is a Jack in a Box pop and he's looking to collect all the Jack in the Box pops. So could this be kind of like a little add-on as like a bonus pop to his Jack in the Box collection? We'll have to hear what he has to say. And then last but not least, we have ourselves the Teen Titans Go NFT redeemable pops. And I think this is a solid set of pops, to be honest. Like you got new characters like Aqualad and Bumblebee. You got a different version of Robin, which I do enjoy very much compared to even just normal Robin in his outfit. And then people were hyping over Slade. And then you have Titan Robot as the Grail, which is surprising that they didn't just do another version of, let's say, like Starfire or Raven, because normally you do like a different version of an already existing character in pop form as the Grail. I actually do like, I'm not going to lie, I actually kind of like this Freddy Funko as Beast Boy.
So we have the Blacklight Crusader for Emerald City Comic Con, and this is cool. I like this. I mean, I am a fan of the Blacklight pops, and I definitely didn't think that Crusaderette was a bad pop when we first got the original one. So yeah, I don't mind this. I do like the fact that there are some different colors implemented, one of those being purple, which is awesome. Then we have the Venom Carnage Miles Morales, and this is pretty decent. It does seem kind of out of nowhere. I mean, I feel like we haven't seen Venomized pops in quite some time, but this isn't a bad one, and it's cool to see that Carnage is getting a little bit of love here too. Then we have the Venus Williams and the Eazy-E, and I believe the reason why these two were picked is because it is for Color Compton, and I believe that they are both from Compton. I know for sure Eazy-E is definitely from Compton, especially when you can see it on his hat in this pop. But I'm sure most people know Eazy-E's story and where he came from. So yeah, these two pops are pretty decent, especially that Eazy-E. I definitely plan on getting that one. I think I like it better than the original one. And then we have the Jack in the Box Fluffy, and I am getting so sick of seeing Fluffy Pops. I've said it before. I feel like we're just seeing too many now at this point. And then they had to go ahead and make it Jack in the Box. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I'm assuming it's probably not sold out. I might end up getting it, especially if I do see it for a decent price, let's say at a toy show or something, then I probably would get it. But right now, I don't know. I just feel like I don't need another Fluffy. I have the original one, which is signed, and I feel like that's enough at this point. And then we have the newest NFT set for Teen Titans Go. And yeah, this is actually pretty good. When I heard that it was Teen Titans Go, I was like, okay, don't really like Teen Titans Go that much. It's not as good, at least in my opinion, as the original Teen Titans. But this is a really nice set of pops. I mean, Aqualad and Bumblebee, that's really cool. Slade, which people are going nuts over in the comments. The Red Robin looks pretty sweet as well. And then, yeah, the Beast Boy Freddy Funko, that is awesome. Probably my favorite pop from this set. I think it just works so well because they do have a similar hairstyle. So I don't know. It is cool. And I'm not surprised that it's actually a Freddy Funko Pop that DK actually likes.
All right, so January 25th, today as we're recording this, it is day 2 of Funko Fair 2023. So let's kick off the reveals here with a huge set of Disney 100th anniversary pops, which in the exact order. First off, we got ourselves a Snow White that's going to be exclusive to Target, a glow-in-the-dark Mirabelle from Encanto, Aurora, and then we have a Walt Disney with Dumbo and Timothy, which this is a common pop, actually. It was an error of adding a Target logo on the side of the glam shot. But then we have a Funko Shop exclusive Walt Disney with camera. Then we got some Disney princesses of Cinderella, Tiana, and Elsa, all having Diamond Collection pops that will be exclusives to respective retailers like Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, and Party City. Aristocats triplets 3-pack that'll be exclusive to Walmart and will be flocked. And then we have some pop moments of Tiana and Naveen and Rapunzel and Flynn, which will be commons. And then Box Lunch will have an exclusive moments of Carl and Ellie from Up. Then we got a Snow White and Woodland Creatures pop movie posters, along with pop rides of Bert and Mary Poppins, and then a finale for Moana with Moana on boat, and then a pop train set to end off, which will be Amazon exclusives. And we got Walt Disney on engine and Mickey Mouse on steamboat car. Then continuing on with Disney, we have a die-cast Mickey Mouse with the silver chase, which will be a Funko Shop exclusive. Reuben with grilled cheese from Lilo and Stitch, which will be a Books A Million exclusive. The 4th out of 12 pops for Captain America Civil War being Black Widow, which will be an Amazon exclusive. Then we got a set of pops for the Disney Plus short series I Am Groot, with common pops of Groot with cheese puffs, Fancy Groot, Dancing Groot and Onesie, Groot with Gruns, Groot with Detonator, and a Groot and Onesie with Book, along with exclusive pops of a translucent Groot, which will be a Funko Shop exclusive, and then a flocked Groot with cheese puffs, which will be exclusive to Hot Topic. Then we got ourselves a comic book version of Thor that will be a pop and pin bundle that will be exclusive to Amazon. Then we have a ginormous wave of One Piece pops, which once again, because it's anime, I'm going to mispronounce these names for sure, which we have ourselves common pops of Snake Man Luffy, Renoa Zoro, a 6-inch Hungry Big Mom, Jinbe with Chase, a 6-inch Kaido, and then we have exclusive pops of a 6-inch Child Big Mom with Chase, which will be exclusive to Specialty Series, Soba Mask with Translucent Chase, which will be exclusive to Child's Collectibles, a Gear 2 Luffy with a chase that will be exclusive to Fundum, a Red Hawk Luffy with a glow-in-the-dark chase, which will be exclusive to AAA Anime, Odin, which will be exclusive to Toy Stop Collectibles, a 6-inch Big Mom with Homies, which will be exclusive to Galactic Toys, Buggy the Clown, which will be exclusive to Hot Topic, a metallic Snake Man Luffy, which will be exclusive to the Funko Shop, a glow-in-the-dark Enma Zoro, which will be exclusive to Child's Collectibles, a Zoro, Luffy, Jinbe, and Sabo 4-pack, which will be glow-in-the-dark and exclusive to GameStop, Ace, which will be exclusive to Hot Topic, an Armored Luffy with Metallic Chase, which will be exclusive to the Funko Shop, Whitebeard with a chase, which will be a shared exclusive actually to Crunchyroll and GameStop, and then last but not least, a Gold D Roger with a chase, which will be exclusive to the Funko Shop. Then we got ourselves a Pop Deluxe albums for TLC, featuring the three main members for the album Ooh on the TLC tip. We got a Hawkeye and Ant-Man pop comic covers, which will be exclusive to Target. Then we got another pop comic covers of Wolverine, which will be also exclusive to Target. Then we got ourselves two Pop Deluxe sets for My Hero Academia, which is of Dabi and Kirojiri, which will be exclusive to Specialty Series. And then last but not least is Vic Rattlehead from Megadeth. So it's going to be the same dealio where I'm only going to mention about a couple of things and then MD will go through the entire list, since I guess if it works out, yesterday's video on the channel would have been me talking about day 2 of Funko Fair 2023. So starting out with the Disney Pops, I'll mention again, it's not a bad set. I know a lot of people are hyped for the Aristocats 3-pack, and I'm really excited about that Carl and Ellie moments because this opens up the opportunity now that Pixar can be a part of this lineup. So we can possibly have new Toy Story Pops being added for the set, new Monsters Inc. Pops, and even some characters from other Pixar movies that don't get that much pops, like let's say Hopper from A Bug's Life, that could be made because of this set now. So I'm really excited about that. And one thing I also wanted to mention about this set is that when I first saw the Walt Disney on the train, at first I thought it was a pop of Top Pop's grandpa because it looks exactly like him. And then I'm going to talk about the One Piece Pops because this is absolutely insane. When you thought you seen crazy detail when it came to the Demon Slayer Pops for day 1, this just blows it out of the water. I think all these pops are absolutely crazy, and I will give a little bit of a spoiler that one of these pops is on my top 10 list. You'll just have to find out which pop it ends up being, and then I'll end off talking about the My Hero Academia set, and this is pretty interesting. I'm surprised for two things. One, that we're getting a My Hero Academia deluxe set now technically, and that the fact that this is a Specialty Series exclusive and not a Hot Topic exclusive, because My Hero Academia pops are known for being Hot Topic exclusives. But it's cool that it's a Specialty Series exclusive because then you can pick these up at your local comic book store.
All right, so more pops for Disney 100, and there's definitely some really cool ones here. I like the two different Walt Disneys that we see. I think that the Diamond Collection versions of some of the princesses that they're doing is not bad, actually. Kind of makes sense for a big event like the 100th year anniversary of Disney. The Aristocrats 3-pack is the best, I think, honestly, out of the Disney stuff that we're seeing, in my opinion. They look awesome, and they're flocked, so that's really sweet. And then one thing that I do want to mention is, yeah, I thought the exact same thing that DK thought when you see that Walt Disney with the train. I mean, it looks so much like Tristan's grandpa. And then, of course, he does have a love for trains. So, yeah, that's a really cool pop. And I definitely see that Tristan is going to be buying that for sure. And then we have a diecast pop that isn't actually Marvel, or Marvel or DC, which is pretty awesome to see. Mickey Mouse, it makes sense. The Chase, not the greatest, like we've said before, but it is cool to see Mickey Mouse finally get this treatment for the diecast. And then we have Reuben with the grilled cheese. This is probably one of my favorite announcements from Funko Fair so far. This is awesome. I mean, yeah, for so long I've been saying we need more Lilo and Stitch pops, and it shouldn't be Stitch because we've been seeing so many Stitches. Lilo, not as much, but I do think that there's already enough of her. And there's so many different cool characters from Lilo and Stitch, especially like Reuben. And of course, he's got that grilled cheese, which is so cool. I really enjoy this pop. Then we have the 4th of 12 pops for the Civil War nesting set. Yeah, this one's okay. Like I said, these are pretty basic pops, but I think that once it all comes together, it will look pretty cool. Then we have pops for I Am Groot, and I'm really hoping that everything that's going on with these pops happens in I Am Groot, or I feel like Groot might be the new Deadpool, and you guys know my opinion on Deadpool pops. Then we have Thor's house, which is really dang cool. I like this. This is an awesome moments. I guess you could say the deluxe moments. This is kind of what I'm looking for, where there's kind of more going on than just the characters standing. I mean, they're sitting on the couch, eating pizza, gaming. This is really sweet. And then we have the pop and pin for the comic book version of Thor. And This is cool. I like how this version of Thor looks. I like the cell shading that they've done with it. I like how they've done that classic thing with the Jolnir where they have the translucent one so it actually looks like it's spinning around. I think that that is executed very, very well. And you can even see that with the pin as well. And then we have the announcement for One Piece pops. And yeah, if you thought the Demon Slayer ones were good, I mean, buddy, these are nuts. There's so much going on with literally each and every single one of these pops. What a crazy, crazy lineup of pops. I mean, I wish I was more into One Piece because I would definitely be hyped to get a lot of these characters just because these pops look so cool. There's so many different chases to obtain in this set, and there's so many different exclusives. So if you don't have, let's say, for example, like a Chalice sticker, you can get one into your collection if you are a sticker buff, like I know that me and DK are. And then one thing that I thought I'd mention too is with the one that is shared to GameStop as well as on Crunchyroll's website, if you get that chase, does this have 3 stickers on it? Because I feel like 3 pretty decently sized stickers is going to be a lot to be on this box, hiding what is actually a pretty cool looking pop. But at the same time, like I said before, a lot of people are probably going to want to get this because I don't really think there has been very many, if any, Crunchyroll exclusive pops. Then we have the deluxe albums for TLC, and this is okay. I feel like it wasn't really necessary. We had the TLC pops as well as the chases with the translucent, and I feel like that's really all that we needed, but this isn't a bad cover or anything, so I don't mind it too much. Then we have the comic book cover for Hawkeye and Ant-Man, and this is pretty dang sweet. I mean, this is exactly what I want when I look at a covers. I mean, the pop looks just like the cover, and then you have Ant-Man on the arrow, I guess you could say. This is executed perfectly. And then we have the cover for Wolverine, and I love Wolverine, so this is pretty sweet as well. I do kind of wish that the pop itself had some of that cell shading, especially with the blues that you see on the face or hair, at least, of Wolverine. I think that that really would have made this pop excellent, and just, they should have just given us a comic book version like we see with that Thor that I just talked about. And then we have the new set of the My Hero Academia pops. And this looks like it's going to be a pretty cool set from the 2 pops that we're seeing so far. I mean, it's obviously in a bar scene, which is kind of cool. And I feel like what we're going to see with the rest of it is going to look very, very cool, especially considering just with these 2, the backgrounds look awesome. I mean, you got a jukebox there, which is cool. And then with the other pop, you also have all the bottles in the back, which is a pretty sweet attention to detail. And then lastly, we have the pop for Megadeth. And this is cool. I don't mind Megadeth at all, so it is cool to see a pop for them. There's not a whole lot going on with this, but it's not a bad pop at all.
We can now move over to our top 10 Funko Pops of January 2023. I know technically when this gets released, there is a couple days left of January, but we're not sure if there's going to be anything announced that is going to really be like on the top 10 list anyways. For the top 10 list, I'm actually going to switch it up this year for 2023. I'm actually going to start off with my pick, and then we'll end off with MD Shady and go back and forth like usual. And also, I'm doing it based on more personal reaction now for my portion instead of what I used to do for the top 10 list, if you guys remember. So I guess starting off with me, coming in at number 10, it is the Box Lunch exclusive SSGSS Goku Glow in the Dark pop. I thought this was pretty decent. Yes, it is another Goku pop, which is why it's at the bottom of the list. But overall, it's probably one of the more detailed Goku pops when you look at it non-glow in the dark.
Coming in at number 10 on my list is Gilligan from Gilligan's Island. I feel like this is going to be the pop from this set that everyone's going to want, obviously being the main character. It's an awesome set of pops that people have wanted for a long time.
Coming in at number 9 on my list is Vic Rattlehead from Megadeth. I think this is pretty sweet, especially when there's probably licensing issues where Funko can't do the band members. Then they do the mascots like they did with Iron Maiden and they did with Five Finger Death Punch. Now we got some more mascot pops. So I do enjoy this, but yeah, I would like to see eventually the band members, especially if they do a deluxe albums.
Coming in at number 9 on my list, I have the album covers for Sir Mix-a-Lot. I definitely like this album. I think it could have been better, and that's why it is only at number 9. But I do think that it is a pretty cool pop overall. And I mean, we got the 1 or 2 different Sir Mix-a-Lot pops that we've seen before. So now having an album, that just makes sense to me.
Coming in at number 8 on my list is the Diamond Collection pop movie posters of Dorothy and Toto. I really like the idea of more Wizard of Oz pops. Could they have done it a little bit better? Maybe, but I think with these next few pops, I had more of a personal reaction towards it, which is why it is not as high as realistically it should be on this list.
Coming in at number 8 on my list is the Entertainment Earth exclusive Matt Murdock from No Way Home. This could have been better, like we said, if he was sitting in a chair, but I still think this is a pretty solid pop, especially if you do compare it to the OG Matt Murdock. So I knew he had to be on the list.
Coming in at number 7 on my list is the Funko Shop exclusive Dolly Parton. I really like the way that this pop looks. I like both the way that the exclusive and common pops look, but I do like the exclusive better just because, one, she's holding a guitar instead of a banjo, and then she has a different attire on, which really looks nice, especially because I believe both pops have a little bit of glitter on them without classifying it as a Diamond Collection pop, which I do enjoy, and especially it's a right amount of glitter and not overpowering.
Coming in at number 7 on my list, I have the deluxe moments for Thor's house. This is really cool. I like how there's actually stuff going on with this one. You have characters that are sitting, you have characters that are standing. They're all kind of doing something, and the background looks very good with the detail. So yeah, it definitely had to make the list.
Coming in at number 6 on my list is the Walmart exclusive 10-inch Themberchaud from Dungeons and Dragons. I know I probably butchered that, but you guys obviously know who I was talking about. Really detailed, and it definitely is the most detailed because it is more of like a monster for Dungeons and Dragons. And I can't wait to see more because I feel there definitely will be more for this set, especially monsters.
Coming in at number 6 on my list, I have the Funko Shop exclusive Dolly Parton. I like this one better than the common. I like the guitar. Like I said, I like the hair, the outfit. They're pretty much both the same outfits, but I feel like there's just a little bit more going on.
So coming in at number 5 on my list is the specialty series exclusive Dobby Pop Deluxe for My Hero Academia. This is pretty decent because I'm liking this deluxe set where obviously if you're a huge My Hero Academia fan, you know that this is like the underground layer for the League of Villains. So you kind of know who's already going to be in this set, but it's cool to see Dobby because we have not gotten a pop of him since that New York Comic Con exclusive in 2019 where it has risen so much in price. So if you never got that original pop, then this is basically the best way you can get it.
Coming in at number 5 on my list, I have Seymour Spider from the Sid and Marty Krofft NFT drop. This pop just looks so cool. The way that they did the eyes, obviously the texturing of the fur. I mean, he's got 4 arms, which is really, really cool. This is just such a weird, unique character, and I feel like it was done perfectly in Funko version, considering they could have made some mistakes on this, but they didn't. I think they pretty much nailed it with this one.
Coming in at number 4 on my list, I have the comic book Thor. That's an Amazon exclusive. Like MD mentioned, the cell shading is amazing on this pop, and I love the detail of how they pulled off the Mjolnir getting spun, because a lot of times I feel like they've done that a few times with Funko Pops, but it's basically a hit or miss, and this is basically a hit. Like they did it great, and especially you get a pin along with it.
Coming in at number 4 on my list, I have the Diamond Collection Wizard of Oz movie poster with Dorothy and Toto. This is awesome. The Wizard of Oz is one of my favorite movies. I definitely plan on getting this. I don't have the original pops, and they are pretty expensive now. So this is a way that I can kind of represent the Wizard of Oz in my collection. And hopefully the Diamond Collection on this is just the ruby red shoes.
Coming in at number 3 on my list is the Hot Topic exclusive Buggy the Clown from One Piece. Now, it was very difficult to add a One Piece pop because any of the pops could have made it in a spot on this list because they're all equally amazing, besides maybe the 4-pack because it's just repurposed pops, but for the other characters, like they just nailed it with the detail involved. So it could have been any of one of them, but there's something about that Hot Topic exclusive that just stands out to me a lot. So I had to put that on the list.
Coming in at number 3, I have the Pops with Purpose Easy E. This is really cool. I really enjoy this one. A lot better than the original Easy E that we got. And I mean, yeah, it's a Pops with Purpose pop as well. So that's cool that you can kind of buy this pop, and it means more than just adding another pop to your collection.
Coming in at number 2 on my list, it is the Walmart exclusive glow-in-the-dark Renoku from Demon Slayer. I knew that if I had to have a Demon Slayer pop, it had to be Renoku because everyone has been wanting a pop of Renoku since basically the first wave of Demon Slayer pops. He certainly was a favorite of mine when I watched the first season of Demon Slayer. And I chose the glow-in-the-dark aspect because it makes sense because of one of his powers being all about fire. So making his hair glow and everything else, I can't exactly remember what else glows, but especially I know for sure his hair glows. I think it will look pretty good, especially when you have a color like yellow, which is known to be really good. The red might be a little tricky when you take the black light to it, but I think it's going to look really great.
Coming in at number 2 on my list, I have the Hakuna Matata moments. This is wild. I mean, this looks so great where you have, of course, Pumbaa, Timon, and then Simba on the log, and they're doing their little dances. That is so cool. This is going to sell very, very well. This is definitely a pop that you want to have out of box.
And coming in at number 1 is also the Walmart exclusive Hakuna Matata moments. This thing is great. Basically, you mentioned everything that I was going to say, pretty much the detail involved. Such a great moment that's involved. And I feel like this is one of those candidates already that people are already mentioning. Like, this is one of the best pops of 2023.
Now moving on to my number 1 pick for January, and that is the Books A Million exclusive Reuben with grilled cheese from Lilo and Stitch. I've been wanting more Lilo and Stitch pops that weren't Lilo and Stitch. They're the other characters. I never really thought of Reuben, so this is an absolute surprise, and it makes so much sense to have him there with the grilled cheese, and the pop itself looks pretty dang great.
Anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of this week's edition of a Funko Popcast. And if you enjoyed what you had listened to, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, especially letting us know what was your favorite pop announced in January of 2023. But anyways, guys, thank you for listening to this week's edition of Funko Popcast, and we hope to see you guys next week for the first part of our 2-part MCU movie podcast. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
Cruising down the street in my 6'4". Peace in, peace out.